How does this island look so real? This island is a true example that simplicity seriously speaks more. I am so excited to share this island with you today. This island was created by ayakkoatumori on Instagram. Hopefully I pronounced that right. You can find all of their socials linked in the video's description. This island theme is also the reason why I want to do a monotone vibe citycore. I love the simplicity, all the neutral tones. It just makes it feel so realistic. If you are just doing a general citycore or just needing some filler ideas for your citycore island, this definitely will give you some great inspo for it. Long story short, have been needing some inspiration for Skateboard, and I've already found a few ideas I really want to add to that island if I have enough space. With that being said, let's get today's island tour started. Here's also the map and dream address in case you want to also come visit the island with me today. So we have started the island tour already at the entry, and I'm already impressed and blown away. How does an island so simple like this feel so detailed and realistic? It's just blowing me away. I'm obsessed with this alleyway that they have created between these two transitional areas on their map. So many of you have been asking for an alleyway idea, something that doesn't take up too much space but really does capture that vibe, and this build is it. I will for sure be putting this on one of my future citycore islands. I've also wanted to add some sort of a car repair shop or just a workshop in general, and we have this amazing design and it's so simple, but again, it looks so real. And it's just using display shelves and the stonework kitchen backwards. And then we have all these amazing little details over here of cars that are broken down. Again, I just never would have thought to just be super simple with my builds. I think the reason why I love this island so much is because I focus a lot of my details on my road designs and road layout. My current island, Skateboard, is a great example of this. Most of my designs codes are water and road path, and I just don't know what to do from there because I have so much space I need to fill in. This island has truly showed me that I can do a lot more content on this island without needing a ton of custom design codes. A lot of the codes that you're going to be seeing on this island are already provided in the game from using the base game designs. So that is a huge plus, especially if you're someone who is maybe doing a citycore with a ton of designs and you just want to add more detail and more realism to your build without sacrificing obviously a lot more of your custom design slots. Hopefully you will feel so inspired by the end of this island tour like I already have. Now I do want to add, I don't know any of the MA codes that they have used on their island, but I really do hope that the creator decides to share them in the future, because when I do my monotone city, I would love to use a lot of the ones we have been seeing. Also throughout the tour, some minor item loading and lag will definitely happen. It's very common on citycore islands, especially really detailed ones, but as I tell all of my citycore followers, a little item loading and lag is worth it, absolutely worth it for all the details that you will see on an island like this. Also, a heads up, if I stutter or say the same words over and over throughout this tour, it's because my island tours are my unfiltered self. I want each spot to have my total honest reaction and honest opinion. So I just wanted to add that information in, but it looks like over here we have some sort of a train station. Again, the simplicity just makes this build feel so realistic. What stands out most for me is the fact that they are still making use of the stall item. I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that that item is still great for citycore. And then they're using also the curtain partition to look like a concrete wall. All of this together is a beautiful combination. So I think that there's actually two parts to the train station build. So we're going to go across this terraformed walkway. And I absolutely love doing things like this on my own citycore islands because it definitely adds a lot more dimension and height to your builds in general, especially when you're trying to get a lot of different, unique ways to navigate through the island itself. This island though is everything I hope and dream that my next few citycores can be detail wise and structure wise. I've been trying so hard to add a lot of levels and different dimensions to my islands, and sometimes it doesn't happen. I wing all of my builds, and it's a good thing and a bad thing because then I can't plan for stuff like we're seeing today. I think also what's crazy is the fact that I haven't even toured half of the island yet. There's just that much detail. So one of my favorite locations that we're coming up to on the map is actually this emptied out pool. general. And I love these builds so much. I've been seeing a ton of these for summer islands, but I've never actually seen anyone do this for a winter themed island. And once again, there's just so much detail going on. I know I said this earlier, but I really hope that the creator shares the codes that they used on this island, or y'all know some of these, because I would love to reuse especially that pool design on one of my future islands. To me, I think that might honestly just be like a road centerpiece making the lines inside the pool, but I'm not quite sure. Then in the distance, we have these beautiful apartments and modern styled buildings in the distance, and I feel like this is going to be such great inspo for me when I do my new modern Tokyo theme. I really want to do a clean modern city eventually, and these building types are definitely going to help inspire that. Once again, I never would have thought to just go the simple route on these type of builds with just simple panels and display shelves. I don't know why, it just never occurred to me that going so simple with a build would make it feel more realistic, and this island truly delivers that. There's been so many times where I've been like, I just want to make a realistic apartment build, but I never have enough code space. And again, these builds are the reason why I want to do a monotone city. It finally is some inspiration that I have been hoping and dreaming for to get that theme started. I've talked about wanting to do a monotone city for over a year now, but I never knew how to go about it. There's also a lot of decoration aspects to this island I really want to point out to you, like the fence item with the short simple panels in front of it, totally just revamping that item in general. All the minor details of the road patches on the roadways, the different drain codes that we are seeing throughout the island. I also just love how realistic the flow of this island feels. It's like I'm going in between tall buildings right now, and then the roadways have their own dedicated spot. You can tell that a lot of thought and planning went into this island, something I never do personally, and maybe I should. But islands like these and just citycore in general really do require a lot more thought, because your item placement really matters on builds, whereas on a cottagecore island, it's a little bit more forgiving. So right now we're actually outside of a music set, and I love this little transition spot. We have a little rest area with cigarettes, and I love that they've used that can item to look like a place where you dispose of said cigarettes. Then above, you can kind of see some equipment going on. We're actually going to be able to go inside of this, and y'all know I'm a sucker for interactive and immersive builds in general. I think that this is such a great idea. For me personally, what I would do for this build for my current island, or if I'm not doing something monotone, you could actually use your campsite over here and actually have a dedicated spot for said campsite. I did a similar idea on one of my older tropical islands, and I turned it into like a stage area. I think that this would work so wonderful for that, even on a build like this. So once we head back to where the emptied out pool was, we go down the incline, and we have this amazing transitional spot before those apartments that we saw earlier. But before we head that way, I want to show y'all this amazing little marketplace that they've also made interactive, as I think that this is such a great filler. And again, the simplicity of their store builds just make everything feel realistic. I also love that little sign right there for the bookstore. Love how they've customized the display shelves too. Everything just in general complements all the color tones that they have been using throughout their island. And then we have this amazing little area over here. I want to say that this might be somewhere where residents might be picking up their mail. I'm not quite sure. But then we go up this incline and we get greeted with some sort of a cafe. And then we have yet again some more shops on this upper level. In general though, I love builds like this because they really do fill up these awkward locations on your map, and it just adds a little bit of a more immersive experience to your Animal Crossing island. So now I've made my way back to where the Skateboard Transitional area is, and this is like my whole entire favorite location on their map. I, again, love how they have done all these buildings. I just can't believe I never would have thought to use the display shelves this way like they have on their island, and just build like this in general. I guess with social media, things can be so overwhelming and we feel like we just need a ton of custom design codes to make our islands look great. And this island totally just removes all of those standards. You don't need a ton of designs to make an island look good, let alone do a city core one. So hopefully this brings you some ideas and inspiration like it has for me throughout this whole entire build. I absolutely love though all the details throughout this build, and using the plant partition against the simple buildings also just bring a lot more realism and texture to the build. Since this type of design is not using custom design codes against the display shelves, it really does added that needed extra texture and color needed against the monotone vibe that we have been seeing throughout the whole entire island. I absolutely love how they've created this apartment complex, just the simplicity with the customized simple panels, and then we have the dividers in between each apartment balcony. Really does make this feel realistic, even though the build itself is just really simple. I also love this attention to detail. It kind of reminds me of where I live in New Orleans, how we have our shops on the first level of a building, and then above that is all the apartments. So when I was navigating through this location on their map, I caught that attention to detail immediately. So now I went back towards where that Skateboard Transitional area is, and y'all remember that interactive marketplace? Well, we are now behind that. There is this great build where we can get up on the top level, and we have just like this really nice lookout of a shopping area, and then we go back up, and this is actually towards the edge of their map, but this is just so well decorated that it doesn't even feel like we are at the edge of their map. Now there is a really unique detail I want to show y'all, and this is just some great inspiration actually for Skateboard. I adore how they have placed the sand path over here to make it kind of look like how the front of our islands look, where we have that nice little beach area and then it's the ocean water. I have not seen anyone ever do this before. I've only seen like the beach lookouts that we've created on one of my YouTube videos, and that's it. I love this because if I can't fit that beach perspective on my island named Skateboard, I want to do this to kind of like bring more of that beachy vibe and transitional spot to my island in general. I think that this is such a great idea. Let me know what y'all thought about this too in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear if you want to add this now to your island as well. What a great way though on incorporating the secret beach onto your city island without it obviously affecting your overall layout and design. It also looks like that most of the roadways are straight, and this shows that you can have a really nice island without all the fancy roadways that I usually do on my city islands, and those honestly take up a ton of design codes. So maybe this will give you some inspiration if you're wanting to cut down on also your road design slots too. So now it looks like we're at the edge of the right side of their map, and we have more villager homes. All it seems to be in the same color palette too, the same white metal combination, which I absolutely love. It suits the island vibe a lot. If you're new to Animal Crossing or simply just wondering how you can edit your villager houses, you need to have the Happy Home Paradise DLC and customize and decorate 30 of the homes on the DLC. I think we only have 2 locations now on the map that we haven't explored, and this is one of them, and it is a jaw dropper. I absolutely love the apartments in the distance. This is one of my favorite codes. That apartment code though is such a great addition to their island theme, and then I absolutely love how realistic this basketball court looks. I actually do remember seeing this code on Pinterest the other day when I was searching for a volleyball design, and I just searched in Animal Crossing court design, and that definitely was one of the options, and I did love and appreciate how realistic it looked, but I just don't have the design slot space for it. I hope today's island brought you some Animal Crossing inspiration. Again, don't forget to check out the creator in the video's description. As for code designs, as mentioned earlier in the video, I do not know them, but I am hoping that the creator does share them, or y'all know some of the designs used, because I know many of us would love to use them on our island. With that being said, thank you so much for touring this amazing island with me today, and I'll see you next video. Have a horrible day.